All right, hi everybody. Welcome to SellerMania 2. We're kicking this off live. We're joined here by a big panel of experts. Frank, take it from here. Show us what you got. Introduce us to the event.
Yeah, for sure. So this is SellerMania 2. We had one before. We have SellerMania where we had a bunch of giveaways. We had a few panelists. I think this year we did a up on it. We have some major key players here, and I'm excited to talk about some of the subjects that we're bringing to the table, which we will be discussing terms and situations that are happening today, right? I think that the best events are the ones where you're talking about the things that are happening currently. And I think we have the right people at the right time, and everything's just this is crazy value drop, and I'm excited to be here with these people. So we have 5 panelists on board. I'm being hosted with the amazing Izabela. She's going to be hosting with me. And we're going to have a good time, and let's talk Amazon, man. Let's talk Amazon. Let's talk about the things that are happening. So the first panelist we have Paul Barron with us. He will be talking about direct messaging and automation, something that a lot of sellers are looking into. I hear it all the time when people always talk about what's the next thing after Amazon, and I think that there's a few things that play into it. So I'm excited to talk about this, right? So we're talking about Instagram direct messaging, Paul, and everybody's talking about this. Everybody's asking. So my question to you is when do you even know when to get started, right? When do you know is the good time for you to start doing such a thing or even involving yourself in that?
As soon as you think about it, it's always the right time. I mean, here's the thing. I've been talking about chat marketing since 2018. I started Messenger Bot University back then. And then, Messenger bots sort of had their heyday 2018, 2019, like everybody was going crazy with them. Facebook terms, they didn't really update them. They just started enforcing them, really, is what was going on. And then, accounts got, started getting suspended because people were, frankly, they weren't using it correctly. And so I saw this big rush back in 2017, 2018, 2019, every Amazon seller was, doing something with Messenger chatbots. And, I started looking in 2019, I actually rebranded the course to Chat Marketing University because I started seeing, where everything was headed with chat marketing, and it was omni-channel. We're looking at, now we have a beta access to WhatsApp, right? So, WhatsApp is, largely adopted in Europe, Latin America, those markets. Facebook Messenger, everybody, you all know if you've used it, it's, pretty ubiquitous in the United States. But there is a strong contingent of people that use Instagram and love Instagram, but don't use Facebook and don't like Messenger. And especially if you're in anything, selling, baby products for mothers, workout gear, like health related things, anything that's Instagrammable, right? If that's you and you haven't started building out your social media presence, you need to start. This is something that we're seeing now. And I've been talking about this for years, that Amazon really wants brand presence. They want brands on Amazon because brands bring traffic. And there's so many reasons to do it. So when should you start? Now. You should start yesterday.
Right. So the question is this, right? I get it, start yesterday, right? But a lot of these brands, they have no presence. So what you're suggesting, Paul, is just start, figure out the content, see what some competitors are doing. How would you what if you don't have the content?
Yeah. So you don't want to start buying likes. You don't want to start just shit posting. Sorry if, crap garbage posts. You need to really, first and foremost, you need to start by thinking through the eyes of your customers. If you haven't ever done this, one, why? And two, this is, again, going on the brand train, right? Brands think about their customer experience. And so in order to think about your experience, you need to understand who your customers are. How do you do that? Well, first and foremost, you talk to them. If you can't talk to your customers, then what I would do is I would start looking at the people that have bought from me. And if I haven't had sales yet, then I start looking at my closest competition. And I look through who's following them, the people that are commenting on their posts, the people that are engaged with their posts. And then I start building this idea, this persona of the people that we're marketing to. And in our business, we have 4 or 5, but our main persona is just the mom, we call her Kristen. And the reason why we call her Kristen is because we have a super fan. Her name is Kristen. She literally buys every single thing that we sell. Like if you guys have been following my brand journey for years, and if you haven't, you can look me up. We sell reusable swim diapers. And one of our brand promises is you really only need 1 or 2 per kit ever. But Kristen buys everything. So that's where we start, is we start thinking through, okay, what does Kristen do in her spare time? What are the things that frustrate Kristen? When Kristen is sleepy, like, what does she do? When she's tired, when she's angry, when she's happy, when she's sad, where does she go? And if you start thinking like that, and you start putting content together for people that appeals to them on those emotional levels, like, anything that would be like a thumb stopper, right? That would get people to say, oh my gosh, that is so me. Or, oh my gosh, that is so my sister, or something, right? Where it's a thumb stopping moment, and you're not telling people, tag a friend, share if you agree. They're going to share because they agree, and it's amazing. So we use a lot of humor. Like, humor is not appropriate in every brand setting, but really humor is the way to go. So funny memes. One way that you can get started is you look at the memes that are working well in your niche, and you make your own version. Get your own photos, change the words a little bit, or you can just reshare memes that are doing really well. If you share them, you're going to get some of that Facebook pixie dust along with it, that's going to help your accounts grow.
For sure. And I think that, Izabela, you know this, right? I think that is the new, right? Once you're on Amazon, the new wave is to be able to get to direct to consumer, right? And I always hear Paul talking about it, right? The end goal should be for people to buy from you directly. Izabela, I know you deal with a lot of Amazon sellers. I would love to hear your thoughts on that topic.
Yeah, I love everything Paul just said, and touching people's emotions is where it's at. And Paul, you mentioned one, which is funny. So that definitely triggers something. It makes people stop and look and, laugh about it. But there's all these other emotions you can attract. You can, start with like a sad story. You can start with anything that triggers any type of emotions, whether it can be an angry one, like, why are they doing this instead of this? So there's more than just one. If you look into the psychology of the consumer, you're able to pick out different things. So yeah, this strategy absolutely works. I do it all the time for my Instagram, and I don't do it to like create a brand. I just do it because it's funny. I'm also into all the conspiracy things. So, if you follow me, follow at your own risk. I'll tell you right now, but it does turn an emotion in people. Some people are like, yeah, legit, 100%. I love it. Some people are like, you are a terrible human, so, but what it does, it doesn't matter whether it's good or bad, it invokes this emotion, and then they remember you. I'm not saying start and pissing people off left and right, but figure out what creates that trigger in people to take action, because a lot of people don't take action. We see this in Amazon products and Amazon reviews. People will only review if the product is super shitty. And that's how most people get their information, right? Oh, that product sucks. But if it's amazing, they don't really tell you that. They're not even going to post a review, unless maybe it is Kristen that shops all the time. And I'm very curious what Kristen does, that she has all this money to buy everything. I need to be her friend. That's one thing. And two, just like Paul said, just make sure you follow that emotion, see how you can engage consumers. And what I love about big companies like Coca-Cola, for example, yeah, they're amazing. They're huge. Yeah, they never stopped marketing. They never stop. Because a lot of people, they come to RankBell, they're like, why would I use your service? Or why would I use Paul's service or this? They don't realize the importance of always being top of the mind. How do you stay top of the mind? Marketing. How do you can break it down into different layers. How do you market? Sadness, happiness, funny moments, angry moments, really anything that you can make somebody get on their laptop and type, because that's when you get the real information from your consumer.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. I'm posting my brand here in the chat because people are asking.
For sure.
But that's the biggest mistake that I see most brands make, Izabela, is that they start posting everything about like their products and their brand, and it's like literally like their feed is it's just every post is a picture of their product.
Nobody wants to see that.
Nobody wants to see that. I mean, unless it's like a lifestyle thing where it's like, say, like brands that I look up to that do get killer with lifestyle and crowdsourcing, like Pura Vida bracelets, for example. Pura Vida bracelets, like almost 100% of their content is user generated. And like, that's a lot of like where we've sort of modeled our brand rep, our brand ambassador stuff is out off of brands like Pura Vida, because their brand is about like this beach lifestyle, sort of fun in the sun and the waves, sort of, you know, exotic travel, like vacation sort of thing. And, you know, we deal a lot in the travel vacation market. So, you know, when we're posting about our products, it's like those feel good moments, the memories that you want to live forever with your kids, right? Because our brand, we sell to parents of, you know, babies and toddlers, you know, kids. And one of our brand promises, one of the focus that we focus on is creating positive, lasting memories with your kids while they're still little, you know, little enough to hold. And so that's like our mission. That's one of our core mission drives. It has nothing to do with what we sell, right? But we accomplish that through how, like, providing great customer experiences and amazing products, because our products enable people to do that. And I'm not even talking all about Instagram direct automation. It's all just brand building, but you got to start somewhere, right? Because if you don't have a brand, if you don't have something that people can latch onto, that je ne sais quoi, like that little extra bit, right? That unique selling proposition. It's not about, you know, you've got a different color or you've got, you know, different something. Like I just heard a story today. Kobe Bryant shoes are no longer being manufactured because there's a dispute, like they couldn't come to an agreement with his estate. And literally NBA players, guys, NBA players that get shoes for free are going and buying like shoes on not secondhand marketplaces, but other marketplaces for like $2,000. Like these guys get free shoes whenever they want, but they want Kobe Bryant shoes.
Yep.
Why? Because Kobe Bryant built a freaking brand.
Yeah. And I also, Paul, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Because you know, I'm also in the branding space. I always say that branding is perception. One of the biggest mistakes that brand owners make is that they only qualify theirs. They qualify how they see it, how they feel about it. They think it's perfect. And usually branding is not always what looks the best, is what works and what speaks to your audience, right? And so shout out to Leron. Leron wrote, nobody got time for that, right? So the reality is there's a lot of Amazon sellers that they're like, wait, I should be focusing all my time on PPC. I should be focusing on ranking. What do you have to say to those that feel like they don't really have the time to get into to even start entertaining Instagram?
I mean, you could build a house without building a foundation if you want. You might go for it. See how long that lasts.
Very well.
I mean, that's really it is. Like the brand is the foundation. If you don't have a solid brand, you know, there is this sort of economy now where you can get in, get out quick. But I see that collapsing, and I see aggregators specifically not going in it. They're getting smarter. They're not acquiring those garbage brands. You know, just because you have a brand name on Amazon does not mean you have a brand. It means that you have a brand name and you sell on Amazon or a product. Yeah, it means that you've registered a trademark. Maybe you haven't. But so, and again, so Instagram is not appropriate for every single brand either. And that's the thing, is you have to know your audience, you have to know where they hang out, and you have to understand how you communicate your values, your everything, how you communicate that to them. And so, you know, office products, I think it'd be a fun challenge to build an office products brand that does well on Instagram. Because like you think of like the boring, especially if it's like with paper, right? Oh, you know, like Dunder Mifflin. Come on, like it's funny because paper is boring. So like you could have like a Dunder Mifflin brand, like The Office, and make it funny. I think it'd be a challenge. But my point is, it's not a natural fit for everybody. If your brand, if your products are Instagrammable, then I would say that you need to start looking into it, and you need to start investing time into it. And so the automation piece, you can get that started from the get-go. Like little things like DM us, you know, we're in the middle of 2 campaigns, one for one of our brands, another we're in pre-launch for another brand. And one of them is DM us brand ambassador. So on BB Littles, actually, if you want to follow, you can see some of the posts we've done. And so you can go through some of the automations that we're doing. And that's one method that we're using, is like that keyword trigger. Yeah. So
I wanna debate that a little bit. What you just said about not every brand is Instagrammable. I think that's probably not entirely true. And this is why, just hear me out. I know you're a genius in what you do, and I love it. But I think every brand could be Instagrammable. And if it cannot be Instagrammable, it can be utilized in different platforms. So it may not be Instagrammable, but it may be maybe TikTok, maybe Facebook. So there are different social media avenues that you can use. One, I think is just great for brand presence too. We live in a time now where people are actually going to social media to check your product. So you may have a brand on Amazon that's doing fairly well and you have great pictures, you have 1,000 reviews, but you have absolutely zero presence on Instagram, let's say. Even though it's not Instagrammable, I know what you're saying. You're saying like, how can we make it in a way that actually people are going to follow? But I think even the minimum, even if you just post your pictures that you have on Amazon and maybe try to get some user generated content and post it there, just so people can see that your brand exists on social media. We live in a social media world right now, guys. Like if you are not on this, you can pay a VA $5 an hour to post something once a day. That's it. Even if nobody's following it, just keep posting, because people who are searching for your product on Amazon, more than likely, if they're really committed to buying it, they're going to check you out on Instagram. So even if you have a product that you think, oh my God, it's so boring, nobody's ever going to follow us, go back to what you just said, Paul, the emotions. How can I make this funny? Or can I make it sad? Or can I make it, I don't know, political or whatever you want? There's always ways that you can start. And that's the minimum. If you don't want to invest money into it, the least you can do is have a presence on all the social media platforms. That's my take on this.
Well, yeah. And so that's where I agree and I disagree. I think that it's going to be a harder uphill battle for some brands. Like I said, like office products, like if you sell like, staples and paper and
you'll be surprised. Like, I have a client that's actually in that niche and he made it so much fun that it's huge.
That's the thing, is that you have to make it fun. And that's my point.
Make it fun, make it sad, make it whatever you want, invoke some type of emotions. And even like noodles for the pool, like look at the inventor, like he's making millions and millions of dollars for something that we didn't even think about. There's ways that you can make your product stand out by invoking some type of emotion around it. Yeah. And again, the minimum, if you don't want to spend money or time, pay somebody $100, put your social media ups and just put it on those scheduled posts. You don't have to put your time that much into it. I think it should be done.
Love the fire. I just want to butt in here, Paul and Izabela. I love the fire. Just I want to butt in here for, I guess, two things. First thing is everybody that's attending, check out the chat. There's a link there. Click on the link so you can register to win a giveaway. We're going to give some giveaways here. If you want a chance to win and you're here, click the link, register. So hopefully we'll do the raffle very soon. And the second thing, I want to give it back to Frank to take a moment to actually, I think we did it with so much speeding here, which is pretty cool. I want to give a moment to, introduce the panelists and what they do and everything. So I'll give it back to you, Frank, and hold that thought, Izabela and Paul, because this is hot stuff. It's good stuff.
I'm never holding my thoughts, ever.
I was scared to put Paul as one of the first panelists because I know that like the Instagram is such a hot topic. And whatever, I thought we were going to go one by one, but I actually love the fact that we're all here together. I think there's a lot of people that are here that bring crazy stuff to the table, and we can all interact and give each other's opinions on this just to hear outside perspective, right? But we have Elizabeth Greene with us today, PPC. Everyone knows her for that. She's killing the industry. And today's topic that she's going to be talking about is how to adjust your ads, right? How to adjust your ads when they're going out of stock, which is such a huge situation, such a huge issue that people are going through. So Izabela, introduce yourself. Elizabeth, introduce yourself and let us know what you're doing over there at Junglr. And I'm excited to have you here, man. I've been following you for a long time, and I'm definitely a fan of you.
Yeah, super stoked to be here. Yeah, so nutshell, I run an agency that helps Amazon sellers with their PPC. So if you need help with management, you can hit me up. And yeah, so the topic I was going to go over was one that unfortunately we're dealing with a lot of our sellers currently. And I think there's a lot of people asking what they should do with their ads when they're going out of stock. And there's probably about 10 different strategies out there. And so sneak peek, my opinion is it depends. Ask me a question, because I think you really need to know what you're doing and analyze it before you go about implementing some sort of strategy. So hopefully I can help people out with that today.
Yeah, for sure. I know you can, and I know a lot of people are suffering from this. So, this is your space. This is your expertise. I don't touch so much on the subject, so I just want to hear. I want to learn. I'm here to learn from you and hear how are you helping people adjust to that situation.
Okay. Yeah. I definitely can spiel on this. So I kind of had, to me, there's always qualifying questions. Like anytime you're trying to go about figuring out your strategy, there's normally one or two qualifying questions that you need to like ask yourself before you decide. So a lot of my content and the things I put out, because I realize when someone asks me a question, my answer is it depends. And I normally have like a hierarchy of things I go through before I give them their answer. So my goal is to give you my mental hierarchy, and then you should be able to take that to your account and then decide, then we'll go through like, all right, action steps, what comes next. So for me, like the first question to ask is going to be, how long will you be out of stock? Because that will definitely affect what you need to do with the ads. If you're going to be out of stock for months and months, it probably doesn't matter as much to do with the ads, because you're really going to be out of stock so long. When you come back in, you're going to have to be treating it like a relaunch, versus if you're like, all right, I have maybe a couple days, maybe a week at the max. That's really going to change kind of how your ads are going to perform once you come back in stock. Honestly, the longer you are out of stock, the longer your campaigns are paused, the longer you kind of are losing whatever momentum you have. So that's going to change how the ads are going to perform when you come back in. So if you're only going to be out for a little bit, maybe go down as much, versus if you're out for a long period of time, you can take that into account and say, I'm going to end up with a relaunch on the back end of this anyways. So maybe I can be more aggressive pulling back, versus I want to maintain whatever momentum because I'm only going to be out a short period of time. So that's kind of like my first, like, okay, so what scenario are we dealing with here? And then the second question I had, and there's three of them, but the second question is not one I hear talked about a lot, but it is taking a look at what percentage of the total sales on the product that are going out of stock is coming from the ads. So if you have a very large percentage of the total sales on the product that are coming from the ads, then if you completely shut down all of your ads, then you're going to have a much more significant impact on the total sales of that product, versus if you only have maybe 10 or 20% coming from the ads, might as well just shut it down anyways. You're not really running much. But there are some products, especially in a launch phase, you might be running a significant portion from your ads. If you completely shut it down, you will severely kind of pull back on whatever momentum you have gained. So that's definitely something you want to take into account. The way you would do this is you would totals, and then whatever percent that is, it tells you what percentage is coming from the ads versus total. Easier done if you have only one product in your it may be a little bit trickier to discover that. If you have multiple products, it's definitely doable. Hopefully you have a good naming convention. Hopefully you can filter and isolate what your ad sales are for the particular product. If not, do the best you can, kind of get a ballpark. But that will kind of give you an idea on, if I were to completely shut everything down, what does, what impact am I going to have on what momentum I have currently? And then, sorry. I'm spieling, so feel free to cut me off.
No, you're good, man. I know my customers that are suffering from this, right? And
Yeah.
this is a space that, like, I'm in the branding space, so I can't talk so much about it, but I know the necessity and how the situation in China has changed the game for everyone.
Yeah.
And no, I'm just learning. I love what you're speaking, and it's such truth, man. Such
Okay,
truth.
cool. Yeah, so then the last question for me to ask would be, how profitable are you right now? So if you are really profitable, maybe you're good running it. But if you are really unprofitable and you're going to run out of stock anyways, then maybe you need to take that into account, pull back on the ads even more, because then you can help go out with at least a little bit more money in your pocket at the end of the day, and then use that for your replenishing or whatever you need to do. So to me, like, analyzing these questions will give you an idea on maybe how severely you want to pull back on the ads. So you're going to be out of stock a long time. You have a high percentage, low percentage profitability. All right, so let's pull back more, less, kind of like how much you need to take your foot off the gas.
I love it. I love it. And I think Yoni Yoni, are you about to come in?
Frank, sorry, what are you saying?
No, I thought you were about to come in. I thought we had somebody coming
No,
in.
no, everything's good. We're working on the back end. People register for the Wheel of Fortune and the giveaway, so we're working on setting that up. Yeah, why don't you keep introducing? Take just a pause a moment, introduce everybody, the panelists, so at least they're introduced, and then you can circle around all the questions. But I don't want to leave them hanging on the introduction part.
Yeah, perfect. Also, if you have any questions for Elizabeth, I know she's always willing to help, always willing to answer. So please drop any questions you have in that space. She's willing to tackle them. We also have Yael Cabilly with us today. I'm excited to have her. So one of I loved your topic when I was creating all the topics here. First, Yael, introduce yourself first, and what is it that your company's doing, and because I know you're running a lot of things at the same time. I remember in our previous conversation. Yeah, two
companies that, yeah.
I think that's a whole different, we can do a whole panel just on that. But what is it that you're doing today? And I'll talk a little more about your subject.
Sure. I founded a law firm in 2016, helping sellers with legal issues on e-commerce. So mainly trademark, copyrights, patents, and suspensions on Amazon. And all other legal issues related to Amazon and e-commerce in general. I also co-founded with two partners, Fortunet, which is an investment banking firm where we help sellers selling their business.
Well, I love it. So the subject that you're coming in with today is what's the most common legal mistakes on Amazon, right? And I might know a few or two because I hear people speaking about it, but I know that some people are committing some of these mistakes and they don't even realize it, right? Which is the truth. I would love to hear what some of those are and how people can adjust that.
Yeah. So I think that one of the most common legal mistake on my side, there are many. I try to find the one that I want to talk about if I had 10 minutes. I think that that would be around trademarks. So for private label sellers in particular, they all need a trademark today. And very often they choose a name and then they run a quick search on the USPTO or on Google. And then they manufacture with that brand and they send the product to Amazon, they build the listing, they start selling, and then they go ahead and file for a trademark. Sometimes at that point, when they file for a trademark, the lawyer does a search and finds out it's already taken. And while in the past, we were telling our clients at that stage, okay, so just change the name change the brand on the listing to something else because this one's taken. Now we can't do it. Amazon has changed the rules. I don't remember, probably Chris knows, it was probably about a year ago. You can't change the brand on your listing. Technically, you may be able to if you really try hard, but it's against the terms of service. So if that happens, if you have a brand, it's already on the listing, you already accumulated reviews, what Amazon wants you to do if you want a new brand is just to open a new listing, and they say so specifically. So what I would suggest to sellers is simply not to get to that mess. You pick a brand, you choose a brand, just run a search, a trademark search by a lawyer. Most of the trademark attorney will actually include that in their registration process. So it doesn't even cost more. So just run a search before you manufacture, and then you can start the listing, you can manufacture, and then you can file for the trademark later. That way, you know that the trademark is not taken, and that won't happen. So I think that's one of the most common mistakes. Another one would be around copyrights. So many people think that to be protected for copyrights, you would have to register your rights. So for example, if I designed a paper plate with, I don't know, a dog on it, many people think that I have to actually register it if I want to protect it. The truth is, graphic designs are actually protected, from the moment they were created. So if I designed a paper plate, my designer from the company designed a dog on the paper plate, I own the copyright. It means that if you use the same design I don't know, my manufacturer suggested that you use the same design and, you know, and showed it to you and you chose it and you start selling it, I can just file a complaint and within, I don't know, an hour, half an hour, you're done. You can't use it anymore without a registration. If you want to file a lawsuit, you need the registration, that's true. But to file a complaint on Amazon, you don't need it. And same goes for photos. So if Frank has used my photo on his listing, I can just file a complaint and Amazon will remove it in a second. So that's another common mistake. When we're talking about graphic designs, you really have to have your own, as opposed to, I don't know, the shape of your product. You can see if there's no patent, you can take it. With graphic designs, just don't use designs of someone else. Don't use photos of someone else. Just use your own photos, use your own designs, your own text, your own graphics, so that you won't be suspended. That's my advice.
Can I ask a question on that?
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
I have a couple of sellers that people are being nasty and pretty much ripping off their images. I would be curious to know, as far as filing that claim, if there's a good way to word that or how you would, and then also what do you do about the content where it's like they've changed, like it's barely changed. It's so obviously
Yes.
a rip off, but they've changed it enough that it doesn't seem to go through.
Right. So let's start with the image. I will put a link here with an explanation how you file it. Super simple. You just write, this is my listing. It was uploaded in, I don't know, 2016 or 2021 or whatever before this listing. So this is my listing. Here's my image. This is the infringer. This is his listing. And then you just, you sign, that was mine. And I believe this is an infringement. And that's pretty much it. We have a form I'll explain. I have a link on our website where we explain exactly how to file it. But I promise it takes about 4 minutes. And then Amazon removes it if it's the same image. And to go back to your question, if it's a text, it's enough to have one sentence to remove the listing. We've seen that lately. That started lately. We've had clients who only took just one sentence from their competitor, and the competitor filed a complaint for copyright and removed the entire listing. So don't do that. That's, again, in the past it was okay. Now even a sentence is not okay. When it comes to the photos, unfortunately, you need pretty much the same photo. If they make several changes and they have a good Photoshopper, very hard to remove the photo. So in that case, you may, if you think it's infringing, your attorney thinks it's infringing, I would send a cease and desist letter. Amazon isn't so helpful if it's not the same. If it's the same, again, 4 minutes, and then maybe, I don't know, half an hour later, it's down.
Okay, thanks. And when you say text, you're talking about the listing copy.
Yeah, like one bullet enough.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
Yeah, one bullet enough to remove someone. And it's actually confusing and very frustrating because the seller gets the complaint, he knows who it's from, okay, or he or she knows who it's from because it says there's an email, but they don't know what it's about. It doesn't say, it just says, you use someone else's copyright, you use the text, which copyright, if it's a graphic design, text, photo, what is it? They don't know. So sometimes Amazon gives some information. Amazon is getting better and better at, giving information. In the past, it didn't say, almost, Chris remembers, I don't know, 2016, they almost didn't say anything. Now they at least give the number if there's a number, a trademark number, a patent number. So yeah, frustrating, difficult. We see that on Christmas and on the high season. Some wait for the last minute, for this season to file those reports, and then the seller tries to to reinstate it. Our law firm looks like a war room during these 2 months. Yeah.
I can imagine. I want to keep the panelists going because I know some people have some Q&As that we're all going to be answering towards the end. So I'll leave some of those questions towards the end. We have Colleen with us. I'm excited about this one. I know that this has been a major topic. I've seen a lot of podcasts surrounding this subject, and I'm excited to have you here, Colleen. And we're going to be talking about how to optimize Amazon reviews requests, right? I've been following you for a while. I see some of your content. I'm excited, man. I'm excited to hear you and hear how this is transitioning for you.
Good. Yeah. Thanks so much for having us here today. Yeah, I mean, optimizing your review requests, trying to get more reviews is always a challenge for sellers. As I think it was Izabela said earlier, people are motivated to leave the negative reviews, but the positive reviews are harder to come by. Just like if you go to a restaurant, and you have a bad experience, you're on Yelp or whatever, leaving a negative review immediately, telling all your friends about how terrible it was. But if you have a great experience, people aren't as motivated to take the time to give that positive feedback. So it's important that you're always asking for reviews to offset any of those negative reviews with positive ones.
Yeah, so there's a lot of Amazon sellers that are out there, right? And they don't know how to handle this, right? Because it's like I feel like Amazon, every section becomes like its own portion of it becomes like a section of your business, right? Whether you got to deal with the listings and you got to deal with the ratings, it's like the business is a lot bigger than what you expected when you first thought about selling on Amazon. You quickly realize that there's like a lot of major keys that play into the factor, and this is one of them. And not everybody knows how to even adjust that. So can you walk us through someone that's starting, or even a bigger account that's getting a few bad reviews for whatever reason? How do they adjust to changing that?
Yeah, so there's two ways to request reviews. One is through buyer-seller messaging, and the other one is using the request a review button found in Seller Central on the orders page. So either of them are certainly allowed. Buyer-seller messaging, you just have more risk because you're customizing the message. And so you have to be very careful that you follow the communication policies, and Amazon changes them every so often as well. So you have to just pay really close attention. If Amazon perceives that you are not asking in a neutral manner for a review, or if you're incentivizing in any way, then you can be suspended. And so we've seen a lot of sellers get suspended with buyer-seller messaging. We also have a lot of sellers who have seen a lot of success with it, especially if they have a well-known brand or product. If they have a message that's compliant, it tends to work well. But what we typically recommend, especially to new sellers starting out or somebody who hasn't been requesting reviews, is to use the request a review button, automate it with a system like Feedback 5, which is our tool, but just set it and forget it. If you use the request a review button that Amazon has created, you know that you're 100% compliant. You don't have to worry about, any violations, and it asks for both a product review and feedback. And so that's what we typically recommend, is go for that request a review button, unless you have a compelling reason to use buyer-seller messaging, because there is more risk, especially if you have VAs helping you request reviews. If they're not fully trained properly and they say something wrong in an email, it just puts your business at risk. So,
Colleen, is there such a thing as abusing the request a review button?
Well, you can only send one request for feedback and reviews per order.
Right, for each person. But
yeah.
In the past, if let's say you get 100 orders, and let's say by some miracle you send to 100 people, you get 50 reviews out of that, wouldn't that trigger Amazon's automatic response of like, you're in trouble because now you got 50% review rate, even though you are using their own button? Have you seen anything like that?
I have not seen anybody get suspended for using the request a review button. If you use the request a review button, you cannot send a buyer-seller message. So, the system will certainly allow you to do that. So you need to be careful. If you're using the request a review button, don't send the buyer-seller messaging request as well for that same order. But no, I have not seen anybody, get suspended from using that button, which is good. It's a nice, safe way to make sure you're requesting reviews on every order. Although it's a manual process to do it in Seller Central, there is automation out there. So, Feedback 5, for instance, like I said, does allow you to automate, and it also allows you to exclude certain orders, like refunded orders, of course, that are going to be higher risk for negative reviews. You don't want to entice, reviews on something that's being refunded, or if you have a defective SKU that you're pulling from the shelf, you can automate to exclude any of those orders with that SKU to receive a request, or things that ship late or out of the country that might be more at risk. So
basically be mindful of who you're requesting the review from, and not just automate it to a point where it's asking everyone, even those who may leave you a negative review.
Right. And I think you also need to look at the timing of when you send the request. You're allowed to send a request between 5 and 30 days after delivery. And in most cases, I would say send the review request as soon as possible after delivery. but you really have to think of the product that you're selling and that you're requesting a review on, and think about when is the buyer going to see the value in that product. So like everyday consumables, sure, send it 5 to 7 days after delivery. If you have like paddle boards or something that you have to use on a weekend, more likely, you might want to wait 8 to 10 days after delivery so they have a weekend to use that item if it's more of an outdoor or sports type equipment. And then, you know, vitamins, supplements that might take 25 to 30 days to start to see the results, you know, send the request more closer to the 30-day mark. So think about what you're selling, you know, and when the buyer will see the value in that. And because they'll be more motivated to leave a review if they're seeing some value in that product.
What kind of review rate do you see coming in from this request a review button?
I'm gonna have to answer like Elizabeth did. It depends.
Of course, yeah. Well, let's exclude the depends because that's when it comes to Amazon, the depends should be like literally on the same title.
Yeah, I mean, anywhere from, you know, some are only getting, you know, 2 to 3% response rate for reviews. I will say though, now that we have ratings that buyers can leave ratings, we are seeing a bigger increase in the response rate. You're just not always getting the commentary with that rating, like a true review. You're just getting the ratings, but the ratings certainly help. So we have many sellers that are getting 12 or 13% response rate, but a lot of those tend to be the ratings because that request a review button that Amazon has created. It's optimized for mobile. It's very friendly and easy for a buyer just to click the stars and be done with it. So we are seeing, you know, in the past year, we have seen an increase in the response rate.
Definitely make it easier for the shoppers. Absolutely. They would always find a way to do it easy, but it's good to know that at least people are taking a little bit more action rather than not doing anything at all to do these star reviews. And some people might not like it. What do you think about Levon posted the other day something about the goalie supplement where they have like 100,000 reviews. How do you think they got all those reviews?
Yeah, so there's certainly black hat tactics out there. I'm not saying that they use black
Really?
hat tactics, but
really, they still
you know,
exist.
Yeah, but some products are just that awesome that they get a lot of great reviews. So, you know, it's hard to say. But I will say that it's not just the quantity that's important. It's the quality of reviews, of course, but also how recent your reviews are. You know, if your product has 100,000 reviews, but you haven't had any reviews in 8 months, and your competitor comes out with something and they have, you know, maybe only 1,000 reviews, but they're all very recent, that product is going to look like the more relevant, newer version, you know, the better product to purchase. So it's not just about the quality and quantity, it's also how recent your reviews are. That definitely plays a factor for social proof purposes. And most likely it's in the algorithm as well. So,
do you think
in the buy box.
Do you think we have a tendency of us Amazonians to think too much into it, whereas the buyer doesn't even really think that deeply? Like, do they actually search, oh, let me see all the 1-star reviews, let me see the recent reviews, let me select it by this and this and this? Because I, as a shopper, even though I'm involved in the Amazon space, as a shopper, I don't ever do that. Like, I'm just like, it's on page 1, I need it, it's like $20. I don't care what it says. Like, I'm trying to figure out like
I think you're in the minority. I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe we could take a little bit here, but I think you're in the minority. I think a lot of buyers are trained to look at those reviews, and it's at least a red flag. If somebody has like 3 stars or less, then they might start combing through the reviews. In most cases, if a company has probably 4.3 stars or, you know, higher, and they have a lot of reviews, people probably feel confident in buying that. But especially with all of the, you know, knockoff products and such, like, I think buyers are much more aware that there's fake products out there, you know, the counterfeit items. You want to make sure you're getting the legit item, you know, not the knockoff. So I think people are getting smarter to look at the reviews. Now, whether or not buyers realize that they're buying from Amazon or third parties, I think plays a factor as well. I think a lot of people that I talk to when I mention what I do for a living, they don't even realize that, you know, third-party sellers are selling on Amazon. They think that they buy everything directly from Amazon.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think consumers are becoming more educated, but for the sellers who don't realize that they're buying from, you know, third-party sellers, getting that Amazon review request directly from Amazon, I think also helps that response rate. If you send your review request through buyer seller messaging, it comes. It looks like it comes from your business, from your Amazon store. Whereas if you use the request a review button in Seller Central, it looks like it's coming directly from Amazon, which it is. So the sellers are more confident, or sorry, the buyers are more confident to open that up. They know they bought from Amazon, not from ABC shop, you know? So.
Oh, true. The game has changed. It's just so many things are changing, so many pieces to the puzzle, right? And I see new people are signing up. So this is SellerMania 2. We have 10K in giveaways. Colleen, you have a giveaway that we're going to be giving away soon. I'm excited about it. I'll let you talk about that a little more when we get to that stage. I want to bring Christopher McCabe, man. First of all, I see you everywhere, man. You're always dropping crazy knowledge. Thank you for showing up. Your topic is how to stay compliant and have good account health score while selling on Amazon. Something that a lot of people lack. And I'm excited to have you, man. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being a part of this. And yeah, the stage is yours, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, for sure. Yeah, not everyone's as healthy as they need to be at this time of year. That's for sure. And I think part of the problem is people aren't planning ahead enough. They're sometimes getting policy violations and they're not sure where it came from. They think it's maybe a mistake, or maybe it's a message that a bunch of sellers got and they don't know how to respond to it or deal with it at the time. So they either forget about it, or they assume they can later, if it becomes a problem, follow up and say, hey, you guys made a mistake. You sent us this warning. But there isn't a lot of action that they're ready to take, especially in like November, holiday peak that we're in now, December, October, when you kind of have to have like appeals, if they're not already written, pre-written and ready to go for something, because you don't know what they might ask you for. You have to have them in your head kind of gestating, and you've got like a mental outline of how you're going to appeal it, so that your whatever knocks against your account health come in, you can remedy them quicker, right? Because this is the time of year that Amazon teams tend to respond less. They take longer to respond. They lose things. They misinterpret what you're saying. You might misinterpret what they're saying. Sometimes they send you a message back that has nothing to do with what your appeal was about. So you just have to have that strategy pre-built, you know, October or September ideally, but by November, you've got something written out in case they're challenging the authenticity of the products you're selling, the condition of the products. Lately, the trendy thing's been expiration dates, even for things that don't even have expiration dates, that aren't consumable. You have to be ready for kind of the bot attacks from Amazon itself, making mistakes, misidentifying what you're selling. And obviously that's what we're doing at e-commerce, Chris. We're trying to help people appeal these things, but not just template responses or checking a bunch of boxes. I know Amazon right now is throwing all these templates at people that say, well, check all these boxes. We don't want to have to read your appeals anymore because we're taking so long. I'm kind of paraphrasing this here, making up my own cartoon thought bubble. They're not really making enough time to read appeals anymore. So they're giving you these templates in more types of listing restriction or ACE and suspension categories. So for an expired item or a bad condition item, they just want you to make a series of promises. And I just want to encourage people to actually look at what the complaints were that drove that ACE and suspension or request for an appeal from Amazon in the first place, because there might be something to it. Don't just assume it's the usual bot nonsense. Don't assume that the buyer simply, you know, checked the wrong complaint box or made some careless remark and that turned into an ASIN restriction. Take that stuff seriously, because it might be right around the corner that you get another complaint and you've just gone through this templated series of checked boxes and you think it's gone forever. Hopefully, you know, it is gone for the rest of this year at least, but you think the problem's been permanently solved. And if you keep getting more buyer complaints for the same type of problem, then you haven't solved anything. All you did was postpone it. So, and then we talked a lot about IP today. A lot of people still haven't properly registered trademarks. Tons of our clients are getting barraged with fake copyright complaints. We've talked a lot about that. Get that documentation ready, you know, have invoices ready, trademark registration ready, you know, evidence that those are your images. Somebody's copied your images, but they're accusing you of having copied their images. There's lots of this nonsense going on simply because black hat types know that it'll take Amazon longer to respond to you right now. So all they have to do is knock your listing down for a few days. It's costing you way more revenue at this time of year than any other, presumably any other time of year. They know that. That's why they hit you on Thanksgiving or the day before Thanksgiving or the eve or the morning of Black Friday. They're timing their attack, knowing that Amazon will be discombobulated and slow and confused, and they won't have enough time to react to something that could be very straightforward, right? You're probably not counterfeiting your own product. So a brand, a private label brand, shouldn't be wasting a lot of time and having a lot of trouble appealing something like that, that should be remedied within hours, minutes. But of course, a lot of people just get copy and paste responses. So we're helping a lot of people just kind of figure out the timeline of their strategy of an appeal and not just wait around. My former teams could take forever to get back to you. If they're not intending to respond and you call account health reps and account health people tell you, well, just wait, they're still reviewing it, just wait. You could call in every day for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and they could keep telling you to wait. You might be waiting for nothing. There may not be a response. You have to understand that the teams I used to work on aren't what they used to be, to put it charitably, and things get lost, things get misplaced, things get transferred around. You have to know how to escalate just to get a response when they don't respond at all. You have to have a comprehensive communication management strategy, I guess you'd say, because you can't just take them at their word. Yes, they're reviewing it. Yes, they'll get back to you. You're losing 10,000 a day, 20,000 a day on your top selling ASIN. Probably not the right time of year to take somebody at their word that they're reviewing it and that they'll get back to you. They say that to everybody, right? They need to be able to tell you something when you call account health. When they send you a copy and paste response, when you appeal something to Seller Performance is motivated to get those contexts out of the queues as quickly as possible. Doesn't mean they read them thoroughly, doesn't mean they appreciated the content in there. That's the bad news. They might kick it right back to you. A lot of people get responses within 5 minutes, 3 minutes, sometimes 60 seconds, right? It would take longer. It takes longer to read what you sent them than it does to send a message like that back. So it doesn't make any sense. It just proves that they didn't read it. So you have to understand how that can form the basis of a future escalation, where you can point out the fact that you did submit what they asked you for. You're not missing anything. I mean, of course, make sure you've attached what you need to attach, and make sure you've got a reasonably, strong quality appeal. But assuming that's all there, all of the things being equal, you gave what they wanted, they didn't respond appropriately, or they didn't review it and reinstate. You need to use that as the basis of an escalation. So I know everyone's crazy right now. There's a lot going on. You're trying to troubleshoot a lot of different things. Maybe you're dealing with black hat attacks at the same time you're dealing with Amazon bot nonsense. But the best advice I can give right now is to prepare for it before it happens. You still have a week to prepare for something bad to happen on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of the busiest, holiday weekend of the year. Use that time wisely. Use that time now to get some notes or outlines written up so that you can compose an appeal quickly if you have to.
I muted myself. So
that's all right.
Yeah, it's all good. So Christopher, I think what you said is so key, right? Like looking for those dates that are like hot weeks where, like Black Friday, and making sure that you adjust to that before somebody comes in and attacks, right? Like you said, I think it's such a clear approach to take and be ready for it. The biggest problem is that some people they doubt that things like that can be done. And I feel like just because of that, like one day it just smacks you in the face where you're not expecting something to happen. It's like, wow, I'm the victim now, right? So like 100%, I feel like as you're growing as an Amazon seller, these are things that you need to be conscious of, because if not, it could destroy your business. I personally know of a brand that was selling dog product, and he had 2 SKUs, and there was a competitor went and copied the same exact listing, exactly.
Yeah.
Had a bigger PPC spend, whatever the case is, and obviously at that point, people will click on you, right? So yeah, just keeping your eyes open and being attentive to everything that people have to say. So SellerMania is all about doing giveaways. It's all about giving back to the community. When we started the Ecom Cooperative, we started with a 100K giveaway. We said, if we're doing something new, let's give back to the community, and that's what we focused on, right? So today at SellerMania, we have some giveaways. I don't know if we're almost ready. David Yoni, I'd like to hear if we're ready to do some of these giveaways, because this is what excites me, man. I love giving back. I love giving videos, and we're ready to go. Just got the sign that we're ready to go. And yeah, I'm excited. So I think David,
let's spin the wheel. David, the wheel's ready.
Spin the wheel.
Okay, guys, give me a second here.
You're good.
So we have only 11 people signed up to win. So we entered everybody a couple times. So it looks a little more like a little more action's happening here. Hold on.
Seriously, what is everyone doing? 11 people? My goodness.
Yeah.
So all
No,
your
they're
friends.
here, but they that's the one who wanted to win. The rest of them maybe they don't want to win. That's cool. We're not gonna push them.
11
Alright.
very lucky people that are going
No
to win a
kidding.
lot of prizes.
Do you guys see this wheel here?
Yes, yes.
All right.
So what's the first giveaway, David?
I think you were talking about giveaways, Frank. I think we should start with yours.
Fine, fine. I'm doing a product Amazon video. Yeah, let's spin that wheel, baby.
What's the value of a product video, Frank?
We're between 3,500 to 5,000, depending on the product.
Okay, 3,500 to 5,000. Let's see who the lucky winner is. We got a winner. Congratulations, Patrick.
Yeah, congratulations.
Patrick, reach out to me. Reach out to me via LinkedIn. I'll also put my email there. And I'm excited, man. Let's get to a video that was going to produce more sales for you.
What's the value of that video, Frank?
So depending on the product, 3,500 to 5,000.
5Gs real quick. You know?
Fast.
Okay, we actually have our second giveaway. We're gonna just do now because we have the person who's giving away the service is with us live. Yoni, who's the host? Yoni or Frank? Whoever is the host, can we invite him up? We have Mark Casey giving away a free listing optimization.
I'm finding him right now.
Mark Casey. I see him there, kind of in the middle, MC.
Yeah. Got him.
Click on the right and add him as a panelist.
There we go. Mark Casey.
Let's give him a second.
Hello.
What's going on, Mark?
How are you, David? How's everybody?
Great.
Awesome.
We already gave away a product video, and you are going to be the second giveaway. Can you
Exciting.
tell us a little bit about what you're giving away, and then maybe a little bit about what you guys do?
Yeah, sure. So today we're giving away listing optimization. So what that includes is the content. So the title, bullet points, description. We're going to put it through our software that we use and have our copywriter optimize and edit the listing. So all the keywords that you're missing that are relevant to your listing, we'll input for you on a Word doc, and all you got to do is just copy paste it. And we actually show you the score that's fully optimized. So we show you your current score and where you could be. And then when we deliver it to you, we'll show you that you could be fully optimized. And then also touching up your graphics a bit. So your main image and your infographics, we're going to be looking into it. We do market research and just going to be tuning those up.
Okay, what's the value on a prize like this?
Around $500. Depends on what package you choose, but we're going to hook you up here.
Okay, awesome. All right,
Yeah.
Let's see who the winner is. Let's do it again. Let me know if you see my screen here. We good?
Yeah, it can't be Patrick though. So if it falls on Patrick, you keep spinning, man. Let's go.
No problem. And Yoni, you can check again to see if anybody else is joining. Maybe the FOMO on the prizes is making.
I'll share the link again. If you want to get a chance to win and you haven't done this, I'm gonna put the link into register. So give me a moment, but you can spin it. Go ahead.
All right, we're gonna spin this winner now. All right. Oh, almost Patrick. Azar Khan, congratulations.
Congratulations. Very nice.
Good for you.
Very good.
All instances. Okay. So let's get back to the speakers, and we'll be back with some more giveaways shortly. Thank you, Mark. Thank you,
No
Frank.
problem.
Congratulations to the
Thank
lucky
you.
winners. And let's continue. Let's on with the show.
Bye for now.
Sure. So I want to get into some Q&As. If you have any questions, or even people on the same panelists that have a question for any of the other people, let's talk. Let's see. And I know there were some questions that weren't answered. I'm going to try to go through some of them and see which ones want to take on the answer.
Yeah, just 1 second, Frank. There's a question here from Azar Khan. He raised his hand. If you
No.
want to answer that and lower the hand. And I think he's also the winner. So if you want to take a moment, take a look into that. I think it might be for Marquesi or Elizabeth Greene, you guys can take a look at the chat from the question Azar put in. Is there an easy method how to find relevant keywords, because we use BA sheet and found relevant keywords, but take too much time? If you help me method found relevant keywords. So I don't know if Elizabeth wants to take that, or Marquesi is still around.
Yeah, so you can use a keyword research tool. That might be better. Honestly, I think Brain Analytics is amazing. Keyword research, unfortunately, I am unaware of any fully automated way to discover keywords. An easier way might be to do a like a reverse ASIN search, Helium 10, Jungle Scout. I know there's a couple other I'm missing. There's a lot of good tools out there. I like reverse ASIN search. If you know your top competitors, throw them in, see what they're ranking for. And normally, if you go through that list, you can get an idea of like a couple like root phrases that are going to be really applicable to your product. You can kind of use those to branch off of. That's the method. There are kind of like you can go through, again, top competitors will kind of give you an idea what the competition's doing. To be honest, the keyword research is going to take the longest amount of time. That's the most, honestly, it's the pain in the butt. But I think keyword research is where you're going to win, because you're going to be up against a bunch of sellers who decide it's not worth my time, and I'm just going to use all of Amazon's suggested, and that's not really the best way to go about it. So if you can put in the effort, I definitely recommend you do it.
Yeah, for sure. There's somebody asking, where do I register for the lottery? We have two, I think 2 or 3 more giveaways. I'm pretty sure it's 2 more. David, Yoni, can you please put the link? Some people are also asking me why was
Check
there
the
anyone-
chat. It's right there in the chat. I'm going to put it again. So it's right at the bottom.
Perfect.
All right, I just put it back in there.
So perfect. So Izabela, I want to talk to you for a little bit. I want to talk about.
Uh-oh, am I in trouble again?
No, man. I look. A lot of people need your services. You're obviously become one of the Amazon queens. Everybody, we see you everywhere. Everyone loves you. What you doing these days? What's coming up next? I know a few things. I'm not gonna leak anything. I know you're.
Oh
working-
man, well, I wasn't ready to tell the whole world about it, but I guess I can give a little
Yeah.
sneak peek. So RankBell is pivoting in the most amazing way. We saw a gap in the market as far as what sellers actually need, beside just ranking on page 1, is actually staying on page 1. And how do you stay on page 1? By making sure that you're creating a very good product, but more than that, you're creating an actual brand. You're not just doing a Me Too product, right? So we came up with the solution of the seller getting the full experience from a customer. So basically, we will be giving a whole customer journey from the moment the shopper lays their eyes onto your listing till the end. So just like Colleen was saying, most people just want to give you a 1-star, and that is how usually people get their information about their product, which is so sad. Most people that are doing product research this day and keyword research, like Elizabeth was saying, they usually look for the product that makes the money. They'll type it into Helium 10 or Jungle Scout. They're like, okay, this product is making 50 grand a month. I can definitely do that. Second thing they do is they look on the negative reviews, which is great. That's the minimum you want to do. You want to look at the negative reviews and see how you can create that product better. But I am here to challenge that and say, why would you ever want to wait to get a 1-star review if you can get a full report on that specific product, on how you can make the product better? So this is where RankBell is moving towards, more about creating that customer journey from beginning to the end and giving the seller the full report of how and why would you even want to do that? Like, this is where we are moving. So not only we're going to keep you on page 1, but now we're going to make sure that you are staying on page 1. And you heard it here first. Nobody knows this. This is first time I ever talk about it.
Have I told you that I love you today?
Well, I love you back.
Well, I love you. You're amazing.
Thank you. No, it's true. Like, I saw a really big gap in the market, to the point, because this is all the questions that I get from my sellers every single day. Izabela, thank you for getting me on page 1. How do I stay there? And this is how you stay there, by knowing what your customers are actually looking for from the moment the product gets to their house till they open it, till they actually use it, and you are going to be able to see that journey every single month with RankBell, where it's like, okay, I scored 3 on packaging. How do we make sure that next month I'm scoring 5 or 6 or 7, to the point where you're scoring 10 on every single angle of your product? And this is what we want. And when you see the issues and the problems without getting a 1-star review, you're easily able to change that and improve your product as you create this massive brand.
Izabela, I love it. And I love how you pivoted. You just did a boss move, as you usually do. Honestly, I'm not surprised with how you pivoted. I expected something like this from you. And look at the question that, you seen the note? Somebody has a question for you. Can you see it, or you want me to read it to you?
Yes, you can read it for those who are not able to.
So Izabela, how can we do search, find, buy, and be TOS compliant to the new rules?
So, it's not an easy answer, because everybody kind of knows this already. When you try to manipulate the system, you may at some point get some type of repercussions. We've never had an issue with RankBell, but I am aware of what's going on in the industry. We know what happened with Rebate Key, which was very, very unfortunate. So of course it got me thinking of, what are some ways that I can be of service to other people, to our clients, without them ever having to fear that this thing exists. So when it comes to search, find, buy, it's a very sensitive topic, because my whole business has been created around micro influencers utilizing this tool, the search, find, buy, to be able to bring the rankings up, which is why we are moving away from the search, find, buy to more of a customer journey experience, which can still keep you on page 1, but now we're providing you all this value. So if you want to, continue using search, find, buy, use it at your own risk. I think we should all be very considerate of the services that we use every single day. I know there's a lot of rebate websites out there. I would be hesitant in using those, at least for now, just until things get clear on what Amazon actually wants to do with this. But I know there's a lot of different techniques out there. There's gray, there's white, there's full black on techniques that people are still using, which is why we see 300,000 reviews in some of these products. But, always think of what you want to achieve and where you want to take your brand. Do you want to do something that's going to help you win in the short term, or do you want to create something sustainable, a brand that's going to evolve into something amazing in the end? So, search, find, buy, it's still a great way to rank. It's really the only way to rank, in my opinion, and I may be wrong, is through PPC and through organic ranking. And search, find, buy has been a crucial tool in being able to get the products up on that page. So as of right now, this is probably the best answer I can give you. I know it's not, very comprehensive, but, feel free to message me later if you want to chat about it.
I would love to throw my hat in. Can I?
No. No.
No,
Turn off your video.
I'm not wearing a hat. I'll take it. I'll take my old school Denver Broncos hat. I'll throw that. Okay, so I was talking about this with Casey Goss in New York, and because this came out. So first and foremost, all this stuff, the TOS update, it's a forum post. Okay, it is not an update to terms of service. But what I'm seeing here is that this is most likely the internal conversation that's going on in Amazon. And so the reason why I'm saying that is I have a presentation that I gave in 2019 where I talk about ranking algorithmically and all the things and the triggers that you can pull, right? And I have a bit in that presentation where I took a snippet from the prohibited seller activities page, which is no longer in existence. That page it exists, but all it says is prohibited seller activities. For more information, see rules of conduct. Now, the code of conduct is intentionally vague. Now, Yael's here as our illustrious, amazing attorney. I'm not an attorney, but from my standpoint, it appears that they were intentionally vague because it's their platform. And so Who in their right mind, in a legal setting, would go to Amazon and say, Amazon, you're enforcing your own rules wrong. Come on, it's their platform. So they made it intentionally vague so that they can cherry pick, right? Because like what you said, Isabel, it is the best way to rank. Why is it the best way to rank? Because it's how ranking happens. It's literally why A9 was built, right? Now, what they're against, what Amazon is against, is people manipulating that, where you have crap products at the top. I just heard a case where, not a case, but a story where there was a seller in a foreign country, starts with a C and ends in Ina. Wonder where that is. But this person had a slime kit that they were selling, gooey slime. This person also had a separate business entity that they were paying $10,000 a month to drive fake traffic to this slime kit. Their primary business, the slime kit company, was sold at a massive profit to a well-known aggregator. The most well-named. I'm not going to say which one, but think of that one, and that was the one. And what they didn't know was this person was running off the books traffic from another business entity. So it's completely, they couldn't see it. What happened to that traffic when the company acquired it? Went through the floor, because they were looking at the short term. And honestly, in my opinion, they were doing it specifically to game and to cheat and to steal. So first and foremost, you have to ask yourself, how much is your integrity worth? That's why I don't do this black hat shit, because my integrity is worth more to me. So one, search, find, buy. Here's how you do it. And this is what I was talking about with Casey. That was a long ass buildup. Just go and say, find our blah on Amazon. You're not telling people what to search. So let's say you sell these koozies, right? Find our beer koozies on Amazon, or search for our beer koozies on Amazon. You're not telling people to search for beer koozies. You're not telling them how to search, go through the listings and find you. You're just saying, find our beer koozies on Amazon. I don't see that Amazon would have issues with that. Now, what they do have issues with, obviously, is when you say, all right, go to Amazon, type in beer koozies, go to the third page, scroll down, click on our listing, look at all the images, go down, read some reviews, like a review, go to another competitor's listing, look at their thing, come back to ours, add it to your wish list, go to another competitor, right? So there's all these things that they're trying to manufacture a real sale. Here's the thing, folks. All of this is trying to fake a real sale. You know what you should do? Make real sales. Then you don't have to fake sales. I'm very passionate about this. Like, seriously, build a real fucking brand. That's it. It's long term. Anyway, I could go
delay on the beep.
For sure. Look, I want to get to everybody's questions, because I know I'm seeing a few. I'm just going to read them, and whoever wants to target the question, let's just try to answer these. I know sometimes there's a longer answer to things, because we can't just answer in 1 or 2 sentences. But I want to be able to answer everybody's questions, right? So Azar says, if you're starting from the top of the suggested price range, what is the minimum length you would run a campaign before the information becomes valuable and not a matter of variance?
I think that's connected with the second piece, which says I typically target 50+ keywords, starting high to bids $3+, but often most of the cost goes to a few keywords, but majority of the keywords got 0 clicks. I lost a lot. Should I target fewer keywords and start at a low bid? Maybe. So for
You're cutting off a little bit.
It's just me, or she's
Here
cutting
you
off,
are
yeah.
Am I good now? Or no?
Maybe turn off your video, Elizabeth. Maybe
Yeah.
that will help a little bit.
Yeah, and also plug into
Okay.
wire if you have the option instead of Wi-Fi. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I would say if you are being very strategic with where you are placing your products, like if you are selling a metal cup, don't just like run on cup, run on like something super specific to your product. If you are showing up absolutely where your buyers are searching for you and you're not converting, that's when you know there's an issue. And that typically, like if you're really tracking, this gets harder in bigger accounts, but if you are tracking, you can normally see it within a couple days, because when, like, if you go and you search that particular keyword and you are at the top and you're getting clicks with no sales, something is misaligned with what you're selling with what that shopper is looking for. Typically, you can see that pretty quickly. As again, caveat is that you're being targeted with where you're showing up. So I would take a look at it then. And then as far as the keywords, that's not abnormal. You probably have a couple very high volume keywords in with the rest of it. What I would do is, if the keywords that are getting the spend in those campaigns aren't working, maybe reevaluate it. Or what you can do is you can pull out everything that has no impressions and put that in a separate campaign and kind of pause them in the original one, run those kind of in tandem.
Solid, solid. We also have Joey Sassoon. He says, what are the best strategies to drive traffic to your brand store and converting that traffic into sales? Versus, so basically going towards the Amazon storefront versus actual listing. Who wants to
Are they
talk
talking about sponsored brands?
Yeah, I'm assuming. What are the best strategies to drive traffic to your brand store and convert those traffics into sales?
Okay. Yeah, the only way that you would be able to get someone to land on a brand store intentionally, I don't think posts drive there. Maybe they do. Correct me if I'm wrong, someone. But I know you can run those through the headline ads or the brand ads. Video ads drive to the landing page. I would say think of the shopper experience. So if you are advertising on your brand name, maybe you want to drive them to your store page and then showcase your entire brand collection. If it is easier, there are some times where you build out sub pages that are very specific. Like if you want to cross promote and then add in some beautiful brand graphics, I would do it that way. Otherwise, if they are searching for a very specific product, like like I can't even think of something like toothbrushes. Like if you're selling toothbrushes and you're doing a brand headline on toothbrushes, I would drive them to the toothbrushes. So you don't want to have them fall on your main landing page that has toothpaste and toothbrushes and floss, because they're looking, think of where they're coming from, where the traffic is being driven, and what's going to give them the best experience.
Awesome. So we have more giveaways. Shout out to Gatita. They're giving out cool gifts and all these giveaways. I'm saying that we're seeing Gatita everywhere. I even see them in my soup. Every event, everywhere we go, we see Gatita. Shout out to the team that's crushing it. We have more giveaways. I want to get into some of these giveaways and maybe we'll answer a few more questions. I know some of the questions are taking up a lot of time, but we have some more giveaways. David has a giveaway. Colleen has a giveaway. I'm excited about your giveaway because Colleen, I want to address something, man. I feel like your service, right? I think now more than ever, it's a necessity. And how can people reach out to you? How can people, I know there's a big team behind the company that you're working with. Who's the person they should contact if they want to learn more and use those services?
Sure. So EcomEngine, we're the creator of Feedback 5. So many people know us by our software tool, Feedback 5. We have a few other tools as well, but we're the ones behind the scenes at Feedback 5. So it helps you to manage your reviews and feedback on Amazon, get alerts for the negative reviews, respond to those. If you're brand registered, you can respond, help you get more reviews. They can contact me directly. I'm happy to help them. I'll also put our website and my email here in the chat. But we are offering a 6-month free package of Feedback 5 up to a $300 value. Awesome. So now's definitely a great time with all those increased holiday orders to maximize your reviews. When you see a spike in orders, then you should see a spike in reviews as long as you're asking for them. But the automation will save you a lot of time and a lot of headache and make sure that you remain compliant. So we're happy to work with you on that. Yeah. And especially with Q4 now, I was just realizing it's November 17th. So we're like, I don't know, a month from now will be, the gift giving season, of course. So when we talked about timing review requests earlier in this event, think about, not just the type of product that you're selling, but also the season that we're in. So right now you might want to adjust all of the timing to send those review requests about 30 days out so that everybody who's purchasing gifts now, they might not even take it out of the box when it arrives from Amazon because they're not ready to wrap it. They're not ready to give it. The person hasn't opened it up. So, regardless of what you're selling, you might want to just adjust your timing to 30 days out so that they're most likely to have already opened the gift at that time or given the recipient the gift.
I wouldn't have even thought of that. So true. So true. David, I'm excited to give this giveaway. We're going back to some
Yes, I'm
giveaways.
about to share my screen here. So we said it's a $300 value, up to a $300 value, and it's 6 months to Feedback 5, a Feedback 5 subscription. I'm going to share my screen now, and we will see who the lucky winner is.
Yeah,
All right.
Feedback 5 is the #1 rated feedback app in the Amazon App Store.
Love it.
You can see a lot of reviews there. We know how important reviews are. So
Okay, does everybody see my screen here?
yes.
All right, we're going to draw the winner now.
Wheel of Fortune.
And the lucky winner is almost Joey Sassoon, Jacob Amor.
All right, Jacob.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I was gonna say if Joey wins, he's probably gonna want to win the one that I'm giving away because he told me that he was gonna tell Isaac that they have to use our services.
Yeah,
Okay.
shout out to Joey, man. Joey's
Yeah.
We have you on deck right now. You're up next after we have an amazing giveaway now. We have an audience member, Frank. I'm gonna need you to bring him up as a panelist real quick.
Okay.
Eric from SellerRocket.
By the way, Joyce Sassoon already says that the use Feedback 5, it's great. So it's he's okay.
All right.
Who, David?
Jacob Amor, the winner is has a lot of heart in his eyes, it seems like right now. He put the emoji of that.
David, who am I adding?
Eric.
Can't find them. Unless his account has another name.
Hold on, let me check.
Yo, Yoni, they want to know where they can buy these hats.
No, Frank, he's there. Eric S. Eric Sudarth. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, but Sudarth. Eric S.
While we're doing that, can I tell a little anecdotal story about the review request thing and like making it in season? So
Yeah.
I had this premise a few years ago that if you launch so like we have a very seasonal product. And so I figured, hey, if we launched it in February pre-season, like it ramps up in summer, like we'd need to move less units, in order to launch, which was true. The problem is we were selling, the launch was for rash guards or swim shirts. We're selling them to moms, right? Every single one of them was like, yes, I'd love to review when I use it in June. So make sure that you're paying attention, like Colleen said, about like when people are actually going to be using your products and plan your launches accordingly, because nailed it on the premise, really missed it on the fact that nobody was using them. And then like it went for 3 months without getting reviews. And that was hard to get them re-ranking again.
Yeah, and especially because you're limited, you can only send a review request up to 30 days past delivery. Buyers can still leave a review at any time, but you just can't solicit for it after that time frame. So that's a great point.
Yeah, that's why I'm a big advocate of post-purchase insert funnels, so that you own that data and then you can follow up when you want.
All right, so Eric, welcome in. Eric
Yeah, welcome,
Sudarth,
Eric.
right? From
Thank
SellerRocket.
you. Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about your company and a little bit about what you're giving away today?
Yes. Well, I wish I was giving away Frank's hat, because that's pretty money right there, Frank. It's good to see you guys again. Yes. So SellerRocket, we're the leaders in editorial recommendations. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, but we're giving away today a free on Amazon editorial placement. And so this is between a $2,000 and $3,000 value. And so we're pretty excited to also be joining the Ecom Co-op soon. So yes, this is an exciting giveaway here, and definitely want to share a little bit more about what SellerRocket does here in just a second.
Let's spin the wheel, David. Let's do it.
All right, hold on. Let me share my screen here. Okay, everybody see the screen here?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. The lucky winner is almost Joey Sassoon again. Lean.
Oh,
Eileen
Eileen.
Earls.
All right.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
Congrats.
So Eileen, I'll put my email address in the chat box so you can reach out to me. But I just wanted to briefly show what SellerRocket can do. Let me share my screen right here. So this is an example here of an Amazon on-site editorial. And so you could see that I searched for best basketball here, and this brought up an editorial about a
I'm
quarter.
sorry, one second, Eric, that video, I just have to call it out. That's a creative% video that's on your screen right there.
There you go.
Yeah, the end
See?
one, I think, right? That's the end one video.
Yeah,
That wasn't even planned, but there you go. You got some free pub right there. That's awesome. Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's all right. So basically what SellerRocket does, think of us as like a brand advocate. So we talk to sellers across categories all over Amazon. We work with more than 3,500 brands now, about 800 clients, and we will advocate for those brands with a network of several hundred publishers. These publishers are writing editorials both on and off of Amazon, but these editorials can be a way to boost user trust about your product when they're trying to decide if they want to make a purchase. And so I brought up another one here too on best laptop, so you can kind of see what this looks like. But basically, we can help advocate for your brand to potentially get you in an article just like this. And we have a lot of case studies that show some significant lift that these editorials can provide. And we also have an ability to get you into editorials off of Amazon. If a user happens to be looking for your brand on Google, we happen to work with a lot of publishers now that have articles ranking on the first page on a lot of keywords. And so we can help drive that external traffic to your PDP. We can also help increase that user trust for folks to convert that are doing their research on Amazon. So anyway, I appreciate you guys letting me share today. And so I'll put my email in the chat for anyone who's interested. We'd love to have you reach out and talk to SellerRocket about how we can help your brands grow through editorials.
Thank you very much, Eric.
Thanks, David.
Congratulations, Eileen. All right, we are ready for the next giveaway. Paul, I think I saw something about $700 and 20% off.
Yep. So yeah, so this is our onboarding. We charge normally $1,200 because we do a ton of accounts set up for you inside ManyChat, and this will include setting up anything with basic stuff with an Instagram Direct as well as Messenger. And yeah, 20% off any funnel. So funnels normally start at about $1,000. Most commonly, I think people like 1,500 is a pretty common. But we have like product launch funnels that go all the way up to $6,000 that are pretty intense. So depending on obviously what you need done, it could be a couple $1,000s worth of stuff.
Awesome. I'm excited. David, you ready to run that wheel?
Ready to run it. Hold on.
Joey Sassoon has been almost hitting on all of them, man. He wants that Paul one, so.
All right, everybody see the screen here?
Yeah, we're good.
And the winner is Kenna. Congratulations, Kenna.
Adzon.
Nice.
Good.
Nice.
So Kenna, just shoot me an email. I dropped it up earlier, but I'll drop my email address again and just shoot me an email and we'll connect.
Perfect. I don't want to get too much into detail, but that was perfectly won. It's the right person for it. All right, cool. I think we have one more, David. We have one more giveaway.
That's it. Do you have any other on your list? I think we're out.
I'm good on my list. We're good. As you know, as I said it earlier, I just want to refresh on this. One of the main things is that the Ecom stands for, the Ecom Cooperative, is giving back. We always want to give. Thank you to everyone who gave. Thank you to everyone who showed up. I'm excited to see what this turns into. For those of you that have done giveaways for the Ecom Cooperative, please connect with us. I want to create some backstories. I want some people, the winners, to actually talk about their experience, the prize that they won, and we create a big case study, right? I think that this elevates all of us. It elevates our businesses, our brands, our agencies, and thank you all, man. Thank you all for showing up to this amazing event. It was great hosting with where's Elizabeth? She's probably wherever she's here. Thank you. Izzo, I call her Izzo. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you to the whole Ecom Cooperative, Paul, Yael, Colleen. Thank you to everyone else here. Chris McCabe, Paul. I appreciate you guys, and I think we're seeing each other more often. Where this keeps us connected, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys grow individually and as a big brand. Ecom, every time we do an event like this, the Ecom community is always winning. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank
Thanks
you,
for
Frank.
hosting.
Yeah, thank you everyone for being here today. What a great way to stay connected to our community. And the more people see us, the more they feel like they can trust us to ask us some of these difficult questions. Because I remember when I first started, there weren't many people that I could look up to and ask. And luckily we have such a beautiful community where people can reach out to us without having to worry that, oh my God, I have to pay for a certain service to get an answer. And this is what the Ecom Cooperative does. It's here to really help sellers. And thank you to Yoni and Frank and David for doing such massive giveaways all the time, like just to show you how far the community can go. And giving back to the community has always been something that we're all passionate about, which is why we're all here. So I love seeing this, and thank you, Frank, for letting me do my little intro for my new service. I wasn't ready for that. We talked about it a little bit before, and I look forward to helping even more sellers for the years to come, and together we can create a beautiful space where we can all eat. I like to say that we all have different services, and sometimes we have similar services, and I'm here to support all of it. There's a lot of sellers that need our help, and we're always here for that. So thank you. I love you all for showing up today and giving your time, because time is the most precious thing that we have. So thank you.
Happy holidays, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Keep up the good work. We'll see you in the next event.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
So much.
Okay, Frank, if you want, you can make me back the host. I'll wrap it up. I'll close the recording, and I'll shut the system down here on my end.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank
wait,
you.
somebody asked for Eric from Seller Rocket's email. I'm going to be posting it right now in the comments, just to, I think.
Okay.
Eileen
Yeah, we're not gonna
asked
shut
for
the
it.
whole thing down. I'm just gonna stop recording on my end.